Hey guys, and welcome back to the randomized K-On! Pokemon Team Series. Next up is the waifu, Azusa. Maybe the randomizer will grace her with an evolution this time. Azusa's first Pokemon will be Pincer. That's not a terrible start by any means. Pincer is a strong Pokemon and a very formidable bug type. While it may not be the fastest or bulkiest Pokemon ever, its physical attack and defense are super good. It'll hurt if you get hit. Unfortunately, it couldn't fully capitalize on that because until Gen 4, it learned no stab moves by level up, which is extremely stupid. Scyther had a similar issue, but it wasn't as bad because it did get wing attack in yellow. Pincer, nah, had to wait until Gen 4 when it got X-Scissor. It didn't really improve in TMs since the only stab move is Fury Cutter, which is not what you would call a stellar move. So while Pincer is a decently solid start to Azusa's team, it was definitely not at its best in Gen 2 in terms of move variety. Azusa's second Pokemon will be Sandslash. That's really good. Sandslash is a strong Pokemon in its own right. While it doesn't hit as hard as Pincer, 100 attack is still no laughing matter. Its level up moves are still not great, the only damaging non-normal move being Poison Sting. It opens up a tiny bit with TMs, especially with getting Dig and Earthquake, but it's still not amazing. So Sandslash will hit pretty hard and absolutely put in some work as a team member, but it still gets a little outclassed by other ground types. Azusa's third Pokemon will be Umbreon. Well, look at that. Azusa gets herself an evolution, and Umbreon out of all of them, which is super good. This is Mystic Umbreon's channel mascot and favorite Pokemon, and it's one heck of a Pokemon. Looking at its stats, you can see that it is very clearly meant to be used as a stall and setup Pokemon due to it favoring defense and bulk. It does get a few attacking moves by level up, Feint Attack being the best, but again, and based on videos I've seen, Umbreon's not really used as an attacker. Its TM list isn't too bad, although probably not ideal for it based on what's here, but Toxic was pretty much an auto-include for most of its competitive life up until Gen 8. So a very valuable team member to have. If you need an evolution on your side, you really cannot go wrong with an Umbreon. Azusa's fourth Pokemon will be Lantern. Definitely one of the more underused Pokemon, and one that MJTV likes a lot. Lantern isn't really a bad Pokemon based on what I've heard, but it's also not quite as good as it could be. It does have excellent HP, but everything else is decent at best. It does learn some pretty decent moves by level up, including Spark, which, yes, is no Thunderbolt, but it's not bad. TM-wise, however, it's very limited. There's barely anything here to work with, which is no doubt one of the reasons why Lantern isn't too popular for battling. So by no means a trash Pokemon, and Electric Water is an interesting type combination, but this is not really a Pokemon you're going to see too often outside of playthroughs. Azusa's fifth Pokemon will be Kingdra. How's that? She gets Seadra for Gen 1, and now she gets to use the evolution for Gen 2. Cute little Azusa using a fierce dragon type, and a really good one at that. Kingdra is a powerful Pokemon. Its stats are great for what they are, and its typing of water and dragon means it only really had to fear other dragons until Gen 6. And even when the fairy type came in, it still stayed a threat. Its level up move choices are not great all things considered, its strongest move being Hydro Pump. This can sort of be rectified by breeding one since it'll get access to Aurora Beam and Octazooka. Its TM list is also not too great, aside from the addition of Ice moves and Stab Dragon Breath. So while a bit more limited in Gen 2 than it is now, Kingdra was still a powerhouse. People have said that Whitney's Miltank is the hardest battle in Johto, but I don't think many will disagree that Claire's Kingdra comes a very close second. And Azusa's last Pokemon will be Ditto. Not gonna lie, Ditto is a pretty disappointing way to cap this team off. People have done successful playthroughs with Ditto, so it's not technically useless, but it's not exactly stellar either. It has pretty bad stats overall, even lower than Cast Form. and aside from using Struggle, all it has for moves is Transform, which makes it completely dependent on its opponents to do any kind of damage. So I guess a tricky Pokemon if used effectively, but I don't believe Ditto has much of a competitive battle record, if at all. And that's it for Azusa's Gen 2 team. It doesn't look all that bad, to be honest. She definitely has some strong team members here, and she is a smart girl, so she could really do a lot of damage using them. As always, please rate, comment and subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to come join me on Discord. Consider backing me on Patreon. And remember to stay chilled.